Okay, we've got an inquiry here from one of our lovely subscribers, and the inquiry is via Instagram. So if you would like to, if you have a video request or anything you want to talk about, just add me on Instagram and shoot me a message, but don't shoot me. So I'm gonna read this out. Hey man, how are you? I'm in need of your advice again, my friend, this time on a diet. So, I've noticed since watching your dry fast videos and stuff that I'm always fucking thirsty and dry mouth all the time, despite drinking 2 to 3 liters of water per day. I want to start cleaning up the diet for real, but again, like many others, I have that program that if I stop eating meat and eggs, that I'll lose my muscle and I'll get injured while training, etc. Right now, I'm pretty much on a paleo diet. Lately, I've had no desire for meat, just eggs, 5 or 6 per day, to keep the protein up. I'm a skinny guy already, and I'm afraid if I switch to all fruits and veg and nuts that I'll be deficient in protein and won't be able to develop my body. What's your take on this, and have you got any advice for me? Cheers, brother, all the best, and I'll be sure to donate with potatoes. Oh, no, don't donate with potatoes. Okay, wrong picture. I'll be sure to donate a few euros on my next payday to support the cause. Thank you very much. Peace, have a good day. Just for reference, a typical day for me is I wake up at 7 or 8, I stretch, move, walk the dog, drink water before I started the dry fasting, etc., etc. So he goes on about his diet, and that's where the potatoes come in. So again, don't donate potatoes. I'm currently not eating or accepting any potatoes. So anyway, he goes on what he eats, basically potatoes, meat, and eggs, and etc. Okay, so first of all, this is why I highly recommend intermittent dry fasting. I highly recommend it because it exposes the weaknesses in your body. The fact that you're always thirsty, my friend. It shows you that your diet is anything but optimal. Why are you always thirsty? Why do you always have a dry mouth? This is why I recommend intermittent dry fasting. No matter what you eat, no matter what your diet is, no matter what you eat, no matter how much you eat, when you eat, how often, the intermittent dry fasting would decrease your eating window. You see, so intermittent dry fasting would be anywhere from 16 hours up to 22, 23, 24, 23, right? You get about an hour for consumption. And this is why I highly recommend it, because if your diet is sucking life out of you, what is life? Life is promoted via the element of water and sunlight. So a dehydrating diet sucks the life out of you, that sucks the water out of you. And that's why you're feeling thirsty and you have a dry mouth as soon as you started intermittent dry fasting, because before you had this open license to drink water whenever you feel like it, and now that you're doing intermittent dry fasting, you get to see, wow, holy shit, man, like I'm getting thirsty pretty quickly here. It turns out you were basically hooked on water, addicted to water. Why? Because your diet is dehydrating. Your diet is dehydrating, and anything that's dehydrating you is literally sucking the life force out of you. Literally, the life force is the life is promoted on this planet. The conditions for life occur when you have basically the balance of the 4 elements. When you have water, sunlight, air, and earth, then you have water, you have life. So the earth is your body, the air, you're already breathing the air, but the foods you're eating, the earth, is compromising the water element, is sucking the water out of your body, causing you to feel dehydrated, dry mouth all the time. Doesn't matter how much water you drink. Yeah, of course. Last year around this time, I was eating a big salmon, like this big, literally like this big one giant one. And I was doing OMAD. I was eating once a day, but I wasn't doing the intermittent dry fasting. I was just, I was drinking lots of water in between, and I was still thirsty all the time because I was having this big piece of salmon. Mind you, I wasn't even putting any spices or pepper or salt on it, but it's very dehydrating. I mean, you take a look at it. It's like it's stuff that requires so much water to process, digest, eliminate, assimilate. It's crazy. It's a water intensive process to process that piece of salmon. But I wasn't just doing that. I was eating 6 eggs a day. So that was my OMAD. That was my one meal. It was the piece of salmon, 6 eggs, and then avocados and bananas. So very dehydrating. I mean, even avocados and bananas, once if you switch to fruits and you start to eat fruits only, you will realize once you become very sensitive of your hydration levels that even when you eat bananas, you feel thirsty because you have a new standard. Like if you're just eating papayas and watermelons and mangoes, very juicy, like I'm telling you, you go on 16, 18, 20 hours of dry fasting, no problem. Like what is water? No problem. No problem. You see, but when you start to do intermittent dry fasting, even things like bananas and avocados, you begin to feel the effects of them because they're more concentrated in the earth element, less water in them. But then that was my meal, and so after that, man, I'd be drinking water like and I'm still got this thirst in here, the dry mouth, and of course at the time I didn't know why. I was puzzled. I was baffled. I did not have the clarity to see. But yeah, wake up in the middle of the night, more chug water, and then wake up the next day. I mean, I was literally going without water for no more than 3 or 4 hours. I'd go to bed, drink before, go to bed, wake up in the middle of the night, drink some more water because man, like, got all this mucus and I got all this dry mouth, and then I'd wake up the next morning, as if I ran a marathon in the desert again, chug more water. It's, it exposes you. The intermittent dry fasting really exposes you. It exposes your diet for what it is. Is it adding more life force or taking away life force? It's the water element. Very, very important. So, of course, you're under the spell of the nutrition myth, which is I need this, I need this, I need that. Man, what's gonna happen to me if I lose, if I don't get enough protein, blah 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 blah. Well, okay. So first of all, even the most hardcore bodybuilders will tell you that one of the most important, if not the most important thing to do to build muscle is to rest, is to sleep. Because what is building your muscle? It isn't protein. It isn't the food that you're eating. It's the life force itself. Period. It is the process of life that you work out the muscle, okay, and then you through the process of adaptation, the muscle says, well, this asshole keeps working me out, so I gotta be prepared. Next time this asshole goes and does bicep curls, I'm gonna have to be stronger to be able to handle the workload. And what happens is the life force itself grows the muscle, okay? So growing muscle has nothing to do with food, okay? And it has all to do with subjecting the muscle itself that you want to grow to work. That's all building muscle is, folks. I was in this business for 10 years. I built a channel with 100,000 subscribers on it. I was really Mr. Buff back in my days, okay? And I'm telling you right now, the meat and the butter of it, if you want to build muscle, work the muscle out repeatedly, and that's how you build muscle. It has nothing to do with the foods you're eating. It has nothing to do with how much protein you're taking in, how much food you're eating. Nothing. It's the life force. It's when you sleep, that's when you build the muscle. Again, even the most hardcore bodybuilders under the nutrition spell will tell you that if you don't sleep, you're not going to build muscles. Well, because it's cosmic energy. Cosmic energy comes in, and so of course, when you're working out hardcore, you need, like, what LeBron says in the playoffs, he sleeps 12 hours a day. Because you need cosmic energy, because it's the process itself that's building the muscle. Now, what happens, of course, if you switch to a lighter diet like fruits and vegetables, is you have less inflammation. Now, before I deleted my fitness channel, I went back to watch some of my videos. just for the hell of it, before I hit the delete button, right? Puffy face, like this, right? Puffiness everywhere, puffiness, inflammation, the body here. Let me just fix this. Okay, my body was inflamed, my face was inflamed. So what happens? All these foods that I was eating at the time, the eggs, the meats, the bread, all of it was so inflammation promoting. And because what happens when you eat these foods is they suck water. They suck water. So your body freaks out. Like, oh man, I'm not gonna have enough water, and it retains the water. So first of all, a lot of these big muscles, these big folks with the big muscles that you see, that's just water retained. That's because that's a sign of disease, actually. So what happens when you switch to a fruits and vegetable diet is naturally you're less inflamed overall. Everywhere in your body you're less inflamed, and because you're less inflamed, you quote unquote lose a little muscle or lose your muscles. What you're losing is you're losing the inflammation here. Okay, you're losing the inflammation, so there will be some loss in size for sure if you switch to fruits and vegetables, because there's less inflammation. However, you can build a very mean body on just fruits, and like lean, mean, ripped. And I can give you examples of people. Okay, look up Jericho Sunfire. I actually posted some of his videos here. Just took his videos. He had some videos, and he is a mean man, like oof, shredded everywhere, just like a model body, right? And he's a breatharian. He does not even eat fruits and vegetables anymore. He's a breatharian. Okay, no food, and he's ripped. Go check him out, Jericho Sunfire. Okay, that's one guy. Then look up John DePaz. John, John. He's a personal trainer. He went to the same university as I did, and he's 50 years old. He's got a family, and he eats once a week, fruits only. Ripped motherfucker, ripped. Okay, there's a lot of them popping up everywhere. So in your particular case, you're skinny, if I had to take a guess, because you're not working out, or if you're working out, you're not actually working out. You're not actually pushing your muscles to the point where they realize that I have to be prepared for my next workout, so let me grow in size, let me grow in strength. You're not. So my guess is you're not working your muscle as hard. B, it could be your body type, and this is very important. Some people, you have more of an ectomorph body type. It doesn't matter how much you work out. Your body is not designed for that. Like I can think of that soccer player, a footballer, Peter Crouch, this English footballer. He's 6'5", 6'6". He's a stick like this. And just looking at his body, no matter how much this guy works out with weights and dumbbells and all that, he's gonna barely put on any muscle. You look at his body, you gotta accept it also. It may very well be that that's your body type. I mean, look, like I got a pretty puff chest, okay? Like it's pretty puffy, it's like, yeah, like that's just my body type. See, that's just my body type. Why? I barely do push-ups now. Just push-ups. That's it. Like every 2-3 days. Just 1 or 2 sets. But the way this body is built, it's specifically the chest, by the way. It's built in such a way that if I only do just like 1 or 2 sets of push-ups like once or twice a week, the chest stays puffy. It's my body type. For some people, their body type is built differently. It's built differently, and you have to accept the cards that are handed to you. So again, 2 things that may be affecting your muscle growth. I mean, you're already eating meat as is, eggs, you're eating all the bro foods that help you grow the muscles. You're still skinny dude, aren't you? So my guess is, 1, you're not working out the muscles as hard as they need to be worked out, and 2, you may have a body type that does not put on muscle, that isn't built for a muscular physique, and it could be built for something else. Peter Crouch was a footballer, and he was a really good header of the ball. He wasn't a spectacular footballer. Zlatan Ibrahimovic, there's a much better example. He's a pretty skinny guy, Zlatan. He's 6'5" also. Zlatan. He's a skinny guy. You go look him up. Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Skinny guy. Not like overly skinny, but say he's 6'5", he's, big guy. He is fucking badass, man. He scored some unbelievable acrobatic goals over the years. And he's a judo black belt, I believe. Judo or some martial art. Again, he's gonna have big muscles, probably can't, even if he tried. His body type is not built for that, right? But it's built for he's a badass. His body's built to be a fucking badass, right? Badass guy. His attitude's badass too. So you have to accept also the cards that are handed to you, the cards that are dealt to you, and you may have to accept that I don't even have a body that puts on muscle in that way to begin with. Whether you're eating meat or you're eating fruits or you're a breatharian, you're eating nothing. It doesn't matter. It may very well be that that's just, and who cares, honestly? Who cares? Who cares? If anything, that's a lesson for you to be less attached to the material world, to develop a healthy distance from the real you, Brahman, awareness, consciousness, and the physical body that you're experiencing life through at the moment, which is a finite, very, very small flicker of an eye, blink of an eye experience. It may very well be a lesson for you, that acceptance. Look, this is the vehicle that I'm running with right now. This is what I'm driving in this dimension, and I have to accept it. I have to accept how it's built. I have to accept how it comes. I have to accept its physical appearance. I have to accept its limitations, and I'm just gonna roll with it here because I'm not even the physical body. This is something I had to work at very hard when I left the fitness world behind me, because I was really like, some of you guys were from the fitness days, and I had massive biceps. If you think this chest, this is not really like by the standards of what it used to be for me. Like, my nickname was Titties. Okay, like this, and I was benching 2 plates and 25 for reps. I had to, as I started to, naturally just go in a different path. I had to ask myself these questions. Hey, Saeed, you're known as this, right? Like a legend. I was a legend in the gym in every way. And, but the more I start to get in touch with who I am, the more I'm like, who gives a shit? Like, I'm not that. I'm just driving this vehicle. There are far more important things here to do. My mission here has far more important implications, and I still try my best to stay in a decent shape. I do push-ups and pull-ups, but that's about it nowadays. But that's for you to work with as well. Am I even really the body? Why am I placing such a big importance on having big muscles to begin with? Of course, then you're gonna have to work with the nutrition myth here, because you're under a massive spell, as you already know, as you already pointed out. That you need protein, and you need this, and you need that. And I can tell you for certain that if you work out every day, it almost doesn't matter what you eat, because if you subject the muscle to resistance, it will grow. But it will grow if you're eating fruits and veggies in moderation, or if you're even a breatharian, but you're working out every day or every other day, and you're putting the muscle under respectable resistance. It will grow, but it will grow without the inflammation that it would otherwise have if you're eating all these inflammatory promoting foods, such as bread, potatoes are inflammatory promoting, meat, eggs. Okay, so what you see in a typical gym bro is like a typical gym bro who's got big muscles. You're looking at a combination of, yes, they're working out their muscles really hard, so that's one. So that's contributing to the appearance of the muscle as a big muscle. You're looking at that. That's number one. You're looking at a body that is already designed to be muscular. So that's number two. And you're looking at inflammation, and that's why a typical gym bro looks swole. They even use the word swole. You're swole, bro. You're swole. Of course, because it's a combination of you're working your muscle hard enough for it to grow. You're you're predisposed genetically to have a muscular physique, and number three, you are inflamed out of your fucking mind because of the foods you're eating. And that's why, you know, the gym bros like this, right? Like, but very stiff and very, I cannot tell you in those days how much pain I had in my body. I cannot begin, I mean, there's a reason why I left all that behind. I cannot tell you how much tension. I was, oh my God, once a week, I had to strain my neck, at least once a week. And you know, those strains that last for 3-4 days. So my life in those days was a constant, I strained my neck, you know, one of those bad strains where like even like turning like this hurts. So it would take 3-4 days to heal, and then I would live in a blissful state of non-neck straining for 4 or 5 days, and bang, again, it would happen. Constant inflammation, constant tension, constant lactic acid and acidity flowing through all my veins, all my body, all so that I could maintain that appearance, all so that I could, you know, feel strong and maintain that big, jacked, you know, ripped, strong appearance. I was very, again, it was very limiting, and that's why I had to start leaving the foods that I was eating behind, the lifestyle that I was leading behind, because it was inflammation promoting, and inflammation causes acidity, causes pain, and I'm not a fan of pain. Not anymore. I'm not a fan of pain anymore. I like to feel light nowadays. So yeah, the moral of the story, the conclusion is dry fasting is the fucking shit, because it will expose the dehydrating nature of your diet, if your diet is dehydrating, that is, and it will make you much more appreciative of water, of a state of hydration, because in a state of hydration you actually don't even want to eat. you don't want to eat. You're fine, you're good, because anytime you want to eat is because you're dehydrated. And so it's the same signal, dehydration and hunger, except for hunger takes many days for it to actually physiologically kick in, say, because you got a lot of energy here, a lot of fat reserves, etc. So you're thirsty. Anytime you want to eat, you're thirsty. So the vast majority of humans are massively dehydrated. And you may say, well, Saeed, but I could eat that food and I can, you know, I'll drink water after and it'll be fine. Well, you're seeing for yourself that it doesn't matter how much water you drink. It still feels like you just ran a marathon. Exactly. Because these foods are so demanding of water. They suck so much water that it almost doesn't matter how much water you chug after. You're still feeling like I just ran a marathon in the desert. Such is the degree in which these foods dehydrate, my friend. Such in the degree in which these foods suck the life out of you. And so the intermittent dry fasts really, really put it all on the line, because try this. Just eat fruits for 3 days in a row. High water. Watermelon, papayas, mangoes, grapes, anything 80% plus in water. Try to eat it for 3 days and do 16-hour intermittent dry fasts. First day, you may still be thirsty because the body is still working with the previous day's work. By the third day, you're gonna wake up and you're gonna be on your 14th or 15th dry fast, hour of dry fast, and you're gonna be like, whoa, I'm not even thirsty. And you may go on, you may go on, you know, doing your thing, and you may be like, holy shit, it's been 20 hours since I've had any water, and man, I'm not even that thirsty. You may start to get thirsty around because your body's cleaning up the mucus and everything, but you'll be like, holy shit, it's been 20 hours already, and you know, you may be like, okay, I want to drink now. You may be like, okay, around the 20th hour, I'm thirsty now, but you may be like, holy shit, I'm not nearly as thirsty as I would otherwise be. Just try it for 3 days. So highly recommend you keep doing the dry fast, because work with it. Meaning, you know, all right, I'm I'm thirsty now, but I'm gonna feel the thirst right now, because this is gonna teach me. This is how I do it. I use the element of contrast to learn. So if I eat something that's salty or that's dehydrating, the next day I don't give myself a break and say, well, you ate that, so let's drink water. I said, no, I'm gonna continue. I'm gonna do 16 hours today, and I'm gonna feel this. So I learn. From experience. So continue to work with it, and I highly recommend for all of you folks watching this, dry fasting will crush all your food addictions and will give you a new perspective on food, and will give you such a new appreciation for the hydration. So you'll be a lot more mindful for when you do actually have a consumption window to eat or drink. A lot more mindful. The hydration becomes your top priority, as it should be. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, if you're not building muscle, you're not working the muscle hard enough. So just work out harder. Three, it may very well be that you have to accept the certain limitations on your body. It may not be built in such a way that it's going to build muscle. Number four, in most of or a lot of the size that you see on the gym bros, a lot of it is inflammation also, water retention and inflammation. So take all that in and work with it. And there was one more thing I think I wanted to say before. Yes, again, I will remind you just for you to see, okay? Because we're in a dense material world, and seeing is believing for most of us. Look up Jericho Sunfire. He's a breatharian, ripped out of his mind, doesn't even eat anymore, okay? Ripped out of his mind. Look up John DePaz, John John DED Paz, PASS. Look him up on Facebook, and then you could also look him up on YouTube, but he's more active on Facebook. Look up John DePaz, another breatharian, eats once a week because he's got a family and he just does it for social needs, and he's ripped. He's a personal trainer and he's 50. Okay, so that's the two examples that come to my mind, but there are many other examples of very, very people that are in very, very tip-top shape that only eat fruits and vegetables, like tip-top shape. Not necessarily because again you lose the inflammation when you eat these foods, but like I'll tell you, Jericho Sunfire and John DePaz, model bodies to kill for, and they're both breatharians. They're not even eating anymore. Okay, so again, keep that in mind. Okay, folks, so that's about it. God bless you all. Thank you to all the Patreons for your support, and again, if you're gonna donate potatoes, I'm currently not accepting potato donations, but the links for Patreon and PayPal, if you want to do one-time donations, are down below in the description. Side Mobile at Instagram if you have a video request or anything like that. And until next time, may the force be with you.